G. I gotta keep in mind that relatives of mine is trying to build like me. Sit down with Gconnet, gotta think. Every moment got you tapping the mental and looking out for the key. As a youngin', do it all for the G. I gotta keep in mind that relatives of mine is trying to build like me. Sit down with Gconnet, gotta think. Every moment got you tapping the mental and looking out for the key. Whoa.
What's happening though, man? It's Mr. Ben Bracken, Fig Newton, representing this fast lane shit. I'm letting y'all know to go tap in with the homie G2Bs, Bill Blast over there with that Gconnet show. Generation Conversation. Good game, good feed. Go on over there and get your belly fed. Yeah, most of all, like, comment, and subscribe. Let the homie know I sent you. Whoa, whoa.
All right, this is the Generation Conversation Network. Y'all tap in.
This is Jay Killa tapping in with Gconnet.
Let's go back to the sack tapping in with Gconnet.
Check this out. GLA East Side. That's right. Glasses Malone. And you already know you tapping in. Gconnet, nigga.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Gayo Felony tapping in with Gconnet, having real conversations. Let's get it.
All right, Easter Deal, your favorite East Side nigga, East Side K-Boy. You know what it is. I'm on Gconnet with different generations have real conversations.
Hey, yo, what up? It's none other your man Richie Evans, Mr. Can't Knock the Hustle himself. And right now I'm tapping in with my homeboy, Gconnet.
Yes, sir. You here with Chef Boy, man, Gconnet, where different generations have real conversations. Let's get it.
What it do, folks? It's your boy G2Bs.
And Lady O.
And this is Generation Conversation Network, better known as Gconnet. And today we got the one and only, the East Side famous Jay Killa in the house. What's going on with you, Jay Killa?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, man. I can't call it, you know. Just pushing hard, man, trying to get a world, this low bottom gumbo, man.
Well, for the people that don't know, where was Jay Killa born at?
And I was born in South Central Los Angeles on the east side, man. The roughest and the roughest, you know, that low bottom, man, that side notorious, you know, where everybody need to get a bar of. The world need to know about the area that I came from. We the most slept on and the most talented, you know what I mean? And that's just as real as it get, man, you know?
What schools did Jay Killa attend growing up?
When I grew up, man, I went to Hooper Elementary, Carver Junior High, Thomas, you know what I'm saying, Jefferson High, you know, all on the east side, you know, where it was rough like a motherfucker, you know, to go to school in these areas, man, because they all was in enemy hood, you know? So I was end up being well known, you know, from the area that I come from, you know what I mean? Like cut from a different cloth. A nigga had to put his foot down, man, and get respect and demand respect just to go get an education. You know, that's just real shit, man.
That's right. What was it like for Jay Killa coming up as a youth in them low bottoms?
Well, my life is one of a kind, man, because it's like growing up on the east side, it's like a tribe, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, when you see Africa and you see the people in Africa and tribes, you know, that's how it was on the east side with me growing up. You know, it was very family orientated. It was tight knitted, and every section in the bottoms was together. It's like we was the core. You know, the Pueblo del Rio housing projects, and where I come from, we was the core, like the hub where everybody came. You know what I mean? Like to fuck with each other, like as far as being, you know, kin to each other as a tribe growing up on the east side. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of game. It was a lot of, you know, lessons learned, you know, things that I seen with my own eyes that taught me lesson. OGs, you know, original gangsters that grew up, that spreaded this shit worldwide with all of these people in different states, you know, clinged on to our style, you know what I mean, and spread it worldwide. So it was very much a big impact, you know, not only on my life, but it was an impact on the world.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you because I know, going over there, because I have family over there, it kind of almost had a feeling of its own world, you know, because you had all your family, you had your stores, you had everything around, and you kind of just mixed and mingled only in your area because they had everything you needed. You know what I mean? So I don't know
Yeah.
if that was the same experience for you being on the east side and the Pueblos, but you know, you had places to go play, you had places to go do activities, and you had stores, you had family. So yeah, I think it was like a community in itself in a whole nother world, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I remember growing up, man, it was like, you know, us, the Pueblo villains, the 30 power rules, the 40 power rules, the AFCs, you know, and it was every other blood set that came through, you know, the Swans, the Bonnie Hunts, the Bebop Wops, Nandus, Bishops, you know, I used to ride my bike, you know, all through Compton Avenue, Central, you know, Ascot, you know, and it was crazy because we had to pass enemy sets to get to other homie sets.
Right.
You know, that was our brothers, you know, in life. That was our relatives deeply rooted through our DNA. You know, some type of way we was kin to each other, you know, and it was all love. You know what I mean? It's like I know I can't bring that back like how it used to be, but I know in my DNA, it still runs in my DNA, that respect and that love for all them different sets that was just netted, rooted, and tied and sold as one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My love stands. I wasn't raised to like tether with real love. You know what I'm saying? To like be fake with it. You know what I mean? Like, so even through the course of the time of people growing apart, I always stay rooted, you know what I mean, with the love that I have for the people that when I grew up, I looked up to a lot of villains. Like I used to sleep over there in the houses with them. I used to go rob and steal, and we did all type of stuff, you know, not to name all of the stuff that we did, but then was my brothers over there, and it still is my brothers. I don't care what nobody say. You know what I mean? I always been, you know, rooted and molded to be a person that holds my own and speak my mind and make a motherfucker respect where I come from. So, you know, that's my whole point of view and my angle right now. That's why I made the song Do It for the Bottoms. You know, that wasn't something to do just for, oh, I want everybody that's from the bottoms just to be. No, this shit was in my DNA. It was like, it's been born and installed in me since a kid, you know, 9 years old, riding my bike, you know what I mean, and having uncles that's from Pueblos and uncles that's villain, you know what I mean, and family that's from Bonnie Hunt and Swan and 30 Power Rule cousins and female relatives from AFC and 30 Power Rule. This shit really is like the root of the foundation to where I stand on. So I always told myself, you know, it's to the death of me. You know what I mean? It's not one day I wake up and I switch because another motherfucker have a different opinion. You know, it's not about their opinion because a lot of people don't even know the true story about the foundation of the low bottoms. You know? So that's what's being missed because a lot of us on both sides, you know, from the Villes and from the Pueblos, we got indicted, arrested, and we wasn't there to really install and basically hand the history book down to these other generations so they can understand, you know, the real knitted root foundation of our relationship. You know, it's hard for you to do something to somebody that you slept in a pissy bed with and you flipped on a mattress with. You know what I mean? It's not easy with. You know, niggas can fake it all day. The real reality part of it is that when you look at them, you see love. You know, you see history. You remember the moments that you share with a motherfucker. You don't firstly think like fuck that type of person because you have history with that type of person, and that history is still there. It's just the bullshit need to get through in the trash. That's all it is, really.
Facts. This episode of Gconnet is brought to you by my folks over at Trust Me Vodka, Ultra Premium Vodka. Trust me, it go, homie. Holla at your boy.
And also check out Gconnet on YouTube. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. And also check out the sponsor, Trust Me Vodka, at trustmevodka.com and Trust Me Vodka on Instagram.
Gconnet, with different generations, have real conversations. Trust me.
Trust me.
On another note, what music did you grow up listening to in your household as a kid?
Well, it's crazy that you asked me that because my uncle, you know, he DJ'd all of the parties on the east side. You know, they used to call him water ski.
Water ski.
And yeah, water ski. And he used to DJ all of the parties, man, you know, on the east side, period. He had a soul full of funk and, you know, all different type of music he was tapped in with. And he's really the core of me being into the music industry and being, you know, creating, rapping, being a writer myself, because he actually taught me. So I used to sneak in parties. I was a little bad motherfucker, and I used to hear him playing Houdini. I used to hear him playing all type of shit, you know, like that. That was just classic funk. It was classic original music, you know what I mean? And, you know, it was crazy because I used to see, you know, the Jerry curls, the perms, you know, the khaki suits, you know, the real original gangster shit. Like niggas was swinging, females was swinging. And I used to be like, damn, you know, I want to be fly like that, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be, you know. And as I gradually grew up, you know, shit started coming out like, you know, Run DMC. I started listening to that type of shit because my uncles them had them big ass speakers, you know what I mean, walking around playing Run DMC, NWA, you know what I'm saying, Cameo, Just Like Candy, you know, shit like that had just motherfuckers vibing out and swagging out, you know what I'm saying? And there was some gangster shit back then going on, you know, like NWA, Ice-T, you know what I'm saying, MC Breed, you know what I mean, Ice-T, you know, Black Superman, you know, all of them dudes, they made a root, you know what I mean? MC8, DJ Quick, you know, them niggas, man, MC Ren, you know what I mean? They made a big impact in the industry where it was transitioning to when people was respecting this gadget, you know what I mean? And that was the era where we basically like had a spray paint can that painted the whole fucking world, man. The whole world gravitated to that shit. It was a life-changing experience, not for just our side, as far as the youngins that was looking at it and actually seeing it, the real gangsters that was in action, that was a part of molding and lighting the torch to that whole start, like of this gangster shit, really.
Right. What music do you listen to today?
Today, I'm more like, I rap, so I listen to more like smooth shit, R&B, and as far as the rappers, I'm gonna be honest with you, you know what I mean? You got niggas like Nico Rico, Rucci. I'm liking they style from the West Coast. I like Lil Baby, I like Kodak Black. You know, I'm versatile, so I can adapt to other people music that's from the South, the Midwest, you know what I mean, the East Coast. You got some dudes, man, that's really, 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 really going hard all cultures. And I'm really like looking at it from my point of view. I see they movements, but my focus is I think the West has to come back with that gangster sound with the new twist. You know, like prime example, when the Chronic first came out, it shocked the world. You know what I mean? Like when Doggy Style first came out, when Dog Food, you know, first came out, when DJ Quick came out, you know what I'm saying? With all of his hits, you know, Tonight, you know, it was just historical shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that sound, I'm not looking for the exact sound. I'm looking for that new sound with that flavor. That sound that I'm creating with the versatility of the update of how things is going on now, telling the stories about the past, bringing the past to the present, and basically dropping jewels for these youngins and giving an earful to the OGs that say, damn, you know, nigga, that's some raw shit. I was, you know, in that era. And what he's saying now is reflecting on what's going on with the history that these youngins need to know now. And it all coincides and come together to where you can vibe to this shit and you can gain knowledge from this shit. And at the same time, you can love it because it's real.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with it.
Right. Makes sense. So what do most people misunderstand about you?
I think the most that people misunderstand about me is that I'm a type of dude. I love people sincerely to the core, but I have no time for bullshit. So even if I love you and you're bullshitting, I gotta keep it pushing. That don't mean that I don't love you or care for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're not on for progress with me, then on the same level that I'm trying to take it to successfully, futuristically down the line, then I have to isolate myself from you. And even like people in the industry, it's like you have a lot of people that say, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. And it's good because like Blast was talking, you know, it's a lot of people that they give you false hopes and false dreams. And then it's like when they see you say, I see your bullshit, and you keep calling me with the same drag and I don't answer now, and I'm on to the next, and you see I'm popping, you know, I'm sorry to tell you, but you missed the opportunity for that passenger door that was open for you to take this ride.
Right.
So you can say fuck me all you want to. I'ma laugh at you because I'm not even going to feed into your energy because I know me. I'm a gangster, right? And I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. And at the end of the day, a motherfucker ain't never stepped to a motherfucker with the real shit. They always gonna be in their body because they fucked up.
Right.
So the most misunderstanding about me is that I'm sincere and I'm gonna stand on my belief system, you know, like I said, to the death of me. You know what I mean? And another thing also is that most people is misunderstood about me. I love women, right? I'm a ladies' man. I'm not in a position to where getting out from doing 14 years in the feds. A lot of women reach me and they want to talk to me, but I'm very much like straight to the point. My focus and my love is my career. A relationship is not for me right now.
Right.
Friendship, we can have fun, we can do all of that. I'm not into tying myself up with problems. You know, attachments to other emotions where somebody can feel some type of way because they have an attachment with you.
Right.
I'm not looking for the bullshit. I'm looking for genuine, business-minded, goal-orientated people to be around me that understand that we all are on our destiny for success. And we can help each other. You know, we can provide each other a little time to be supportive to each other.
Right.
And that's where it's all gonna count at, you know. As far as giving somebody your all, I think that should be secondary. I think you should always give yourself your all and whatever dreams that you have placed in front of you, and don't waste no time with doing it.
Right.
You know, so that's where I'm at with it.
Makes sense.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy G2B's over here at Gconnet. And today we talking about this Weed Woods new strain, that Dismo edition. This that shit, man. You need to get you one of these, man. It's all gas, no brakes, man. Holla at your boy over here at Gconnet. Shout out Weed Woods. Dismo, this that shit.
Another question for you. When did you start rapping?
Oh man, I started rapping at 9 years old. And it was crazy because back then my uncles and them was fucking with Death Row. They had a group called Murder for Hire. It was actually signed to Death Row. So they took me up there and I ended up talking to Daz, Snoop, and I was in the room with all of them. I was young and I was, you know, I ain't gonna even lie to you. It wasn't like I was starstruck, but it was like when I seen them, I was hyped up like, damn, like everybody in the motherfucking projects is banging y'all shit. Like, they like, this little nigga right here. This little nigga bad. Right? I'm like, I'm from the projects, you know, I'm a bad project kid. But what fucked me up is that my uncle was like, come here, nigga. I'm like, what's up? So we walk outside and I see Pac in a black rose. I seen Suge in rose. And then I seen a sky blue rose that was 50. Later come to find out that was the one Snoop was in. But Pac nodded to me and said, what's up? So my little badass, I walk up to the driver's side of the door like, hey man, you my favorite rapper, man. Woo, woo. And he was like, that's what's up, youngsters. You know, when you grow up, you can do the same thing I'm doing. You know what I mean? And that was touching right there because it was like, I remember that moment like yesterday, you know what I mean? And that just gave me more inspiration because it was like I was the runt and I was the youngest, little shortest motherfucker around all of the older dudes, you know what I mean? And I've been like that even in my set. And even when I used to go to the Villes when I was little, I used to gravitate to the old dudes. I used to always, hey, come here, nephew, come here, whoop. And I used to always be around them. And I used to ear hustle, you know, I used to soak game, you know what I mean? And I took it very well because it was like some people can comprehend something wrong. You know, they can take it the wrong way and put on this fictitious image that can lead them to a lot of people own them for want to be this certain image and want to be a godlike type person. Right. But I was humble with the knowledge that I got from the G's. And I gradually grew, you know, in my section as a respected, well-known dude. But I was always palms up and I always kept it 100. Even if I was with a pack of my homies, you know, it was like, nah, what's up? You know what I mean? If I see Wack from, I see pull up and me and my homies, we had taco mamas and I see Wack from Villain and I got a gang of young homies with me. I'm not going to be like, oh, I know I was raised up with this nigga. Now I'll go and hug my nigga. What's up? This is my nigga. And I've always been that type of person. And people love me and respect, even my homies, they respect me for that. You know what I mean? Because there's so many niggas that be fake. You know what I mean? When they around their homies, but when they get by themselves, it be, oh, you, what's up? You still my people. Nah, nigga, you supposed to be this way all the way across the board. Like I said,
24/7. 24/7.
Yeah, it's to the death. Yeah.
Now, you said you started rapping when you was about 9. Do you remember your first song?
Well, the first song that I ever made, right? It was called I Got a Crush. And I had this crush on this girl, right? And I wrote the song for her, and I wrote the song and I gave her this paper, right? And she like, what is this? I'm like, that's my rap. I'm like, read it. She's like, no, rap it to me. So I was like, okay, I got a crush on you, baby. I got a crush. I got a crush on you, baby. Ooh, you fine. I want you to be mine. You know what I mean? And I was just harmonizing this shit, right? And she was like, that's weak. That's weak. You got to write another one. So I balled that shit up in the trash. So I balled that shit up in the trash, right? And threw that shit away. So I go home, I told my uncle about it. He said, man, you weren't supposed to throw that in the trash. You were supposed to rewrite it. I was like, rewrite it? They're like, yeah, you supposed to fix it up, man. You know, you build your concepts up just like you build a castle. You know, he's like, Picasso didn't start off with a perfect picture. Right. And I was like, man, you know what? And that's when I started writing my concepts down and I would go over it. And I'd be like, I got to change this. I got to change that. Oh, this sound better. That sound better. And I'll start creating my style. Right. Yeah. So that's when I first started, you know, actually rapping, you know.
Okay. Makes sense. Did you happen, I don't think you had, but did you start off solo or part of a group?
I started off with this group called Deuces Wild. And it was me and this dude, Darnell, from my area. And he ended up, you know, he was a nice rapper too, you know what I mean? And my brother, Big D Capone from my hood, he was basically like, man, you need to group up with him, you know what I'm saying? My brother was a rapper too. So he was like, you need to group up for him, man. Whoa, I'm gonna write you this song and you just get on the song with him. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to group up with nobody. I know I'm hard, like for real. Like you hard, but y'all gonna be hard together. Like, so it didn't last that long. It was probably like we made probably like 3 songs together. And I ended up, you know, being in the studio more than him. I ended up having more of a drive and I ended up being more inspired. And it was just in me, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's like them same situations go on today. But like People like, man, I want to do this, I want to do that, but it's just talk.
Right.
I'm the type of person like, when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Like right now, I get out the feds. I only been out, I've been my money out my own pocket from working 2 jobs. Paying studio time, paying producers, paying marketing people, paying video people. You know what I mean? And people see that and like, damn, you pushing all this by yourself. Like you need support. Like, listen, your type of support is not what I need. Like, I don't want your type of support.
Right.
Because later on down the line, when I blow up, you're not gonna be able to tell a motherfucker, oh, I bought you a car, I paid for your studio.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? I was hustling since I was a youngin', you know what I mean? And I got taught by the older G. So it was like, get up off your ass and get your own. If you really want it, nigga, it's right there.
Right.
What you waiting for?
Yeah. And it goes back to that old saying, actions speak louder than words. Because
Exactly.
talking is one thing, but doing it is a whole nother. Now, do you happen to know how many mixtapes or albums you have?
And can
you name them?
I have approximately like 2 mixtapes, and then the rest of the songs that I have out is all dropped as singles.
Singles? Okay.
Yes.
Can you name your 2 mixtapes?
I had a mixtape called Suwu Business. This was in like 04. I did Rep Your Set in 05.
Okay.
And we had 1 song on there. After that, I did songs with Cypress Hill, the Ghetto Therapy album, which is with the Reyes brothers, Mellow Mayonnaise and Sin Dog and Be Real. I was on the Diary of the Mad Dog from Sin Dog from Cypress Hill. I'm on 2 songs of that. Before I got indicted, I ended up doing the video shoot South Central LA, and I Know You Wanna, which was gonna be on my mixtape Under the Street Lights, but it never came out because I ended up getting indicted. So them was the only 2 songs that was actually put out on that mixtape.
Okay.
So that's the music that I have out
now. And can you find any of that on like the platforms now? As far as
yes, you can. It's on Spotify, iTunes. You can go on Diary the Mad Dog and type in Sin Dog. You can see that I'm on Bulletproof Game. I Like My Gang. You can go on the Reyes Brothers Ghetto Therapy album, Bulletproof. I'm on there. Rep Your Set. I'm on the Pablo Bishop Blood song. Suwu Business is on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes as well. South Central LA is on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes as well. I Know You Wanna is on all platforms. And as y'all see right now, Do It For The Bottoms is going crazy.
Okay.
So right now it's just dropped a month ago. We are already at 40-some K, and that's just independently. Unsexiest blog site, it went crazy on there. We actually waiting on LA Hood Media to actually do their part.
Okay.
As far as the promotion and marketing on that. I'm actually gonna drop next week. I'm gonna drop 2 more videos next week. But I'm actually working on this this mixtape called Operation Family Ties. It was the name of the indictment that I was on. And on that album, I'm basically laying down the foundation of the backstory and the story as of now of my life. And after I lay that out and get the world acquainted to knowing me as Jay Killa, the artist, Jay Killa the street nigga, Jay Killa the official snap nigga from his set, then I'm gonna go on and start dropping this ratchet party club music, that type of stuff, just to, and I want to give the ladies something to go crazy over too. So I got something cooking up for them,
Gotta mix it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
To go back just a little bit, the Rep Your Set, how did that come about for you? How did you become part of that? Did you network with any of those other artists that applied on that song?
Well, this how that went. It's like Mommy Big Ben. He pulled up on me. I was in the set. Like I didn't never give up on rapping, but I was just like rooted, like super rooted, like on the block, bleeding the block, getting my money type shit. You know what I mean? And he pulled up on me. He was like, my nigga, and I'm getting phone calls. Motherfuckers is requesting you to get on this motherfucking compilation. I'm like, what they talking about? Like, he like, man, they said they got, they got $2,000 for you. They want you to come and do a song. So I'm like, so it's gonna be myself or what? I'm gonna get on it with you, and we're gonna get the other your homie. So I'm like, oh, all right, bet, let's rock. So he explained to me what it is. So when I went up there, I met the producer nephew, the dudes that was behind the whole situation. And they talked to me and they was like, man, we want you to be the face of the song. We see you got momentum. We see you got talent. I mean, you could be a big star with the music shit, man, if you really just dig deep into it. So I was like, all right, no problem. So he played some beats for me. I came up with the concept and we just crushed it like that. And I ended up, mingling with a few dudes or whatever the case may be. It was a high intense situation. Different people come in and out of there. So by the way they orchestrated it, they didn't let everybody come, but it was a few other sets in different studios. So, by me being the type of person that I am, I always want to go and meet people. You know what I mean? So I took it upon myself to go meet Squeak Rule, a few dudes from Compton Crip that was up there, and I just let them know, homie, I'm Jay Killa from out the Pueblo, homie, it's all respect and love, you know what I mean? And in return, I'm asking for that at the same time, a nigga ain't come up here on no bullshit, but I just so happened to meet some dudes that I was in the LA County jail with, and as you know, Blaz, you know how that go. You know what I'm saying? They were, oh, that nigga right there, though. You feel me? Like, what's up, Airwolf? Oh, nigga, I remember. We chopped it up. And it was official shit. You know what I'm saying? They was, they was riders too in that motherfucker. So it was like, I gave them they mutual respect and they gave me mines. And it was just like, man, this motherfucker shit gonna go crazy, homie. Like, and I was like, that's what's up. And it ended up doing what it did,
Yeah. Not to be in your business, but just so you know, I've had multiple conversations with members from Rep Your Set. So let me ask you this. What was your take on the financial outside of music push? Are you satisfied with what you got out of that?
Hell no, man. Let's let that be on the record straight, right? I know them niggas made millions of dollars off that motherfucker, right? But it's like this, man, I ain't gonna dwell on the past, I feel like, they won, they won. I learned from my experience, but I got something still out of that at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna take that positive thing, what I got out of it, and I'm gonna overwrite the negative, you know what I'm saying? But that type of situation is not gonna happen ever again, because that's why I'm glad that I'm experienced enough to know how to conduct myself business-wise in the entertainment field. And like I said, I got something good out of it regardless.
With that being said, just out of curiosity, was there ever a time where their staff reached to y'all to teach y'all, to educate y'all about the paperwork and all this about behind, what you signing off, what you authorizing? Did they have meetings where they sat down with people and explained paperwork to y'all or any of that? Or did they just...
No, they didn't. And then what's crazy about it, like I said, at some point in time after that happened, I tried to contact them, and they wasn't responsive. So I was kind of pissed off about it. I was in a body, you know what I mean, and shit could have got ugly if I ever seen them, you know what I mean. But like I said, as I matured, I just said, I'm gonna push forward, but never did none of that shit. I don't even think they had no intentions to do that. I think it was just basically, let's utilize these niggas and get a bag off these niggas and make a move, because these niggas head ain't on right and they can't do that shit by themselves, because we could have did that shit on our own and possibly could have been millionaires, you know. And the reason why I say that is because I met niggas in the feds that was from New Jersey, from Baltimore, from New York. You know what I mean? They was like, nigga, I was banging that rap your shit, nigga, that song bump. And nigga, we was, you know, so I know a lot of people bought it. And I did my research on it. Also, it did numbers. It did a lot of numbers, but they wasn't trying to, you know what I mean? You know, and that's how the game is, man. You got to live and learn, man.
I just asked that because that just confirms the rest of the content that I've already put out regarding it. I just want to know if anybody else got treated any different, because I'm not trying to drag that man or that situation. He's, from my understanding, rest in peace anyway. But, you know, from Big Y, rest in peace, Red Rum, rest in peace, Squeak Rule,
but many
Bronco,
they experience,
you know, Fudge Town. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you said, a learning lesson, the positive.
Yeah, it's a learning lesson. But I do think, though, and this is some real shit, I think a motherfucker should repeat that same shit without them even involved, right? And this the thing, this my thing is, it's gangsters and it's real niggas from each set, just like it's niggas that don't have a brain and don't know how to think from each set. But man, it don't take nothing for the real motherfuckers to come together, you know, and go sit down with some lawyers and get everything straightened out paperwork wise. So it won't be like, oh, nigga, you trying to get paid more than me? Or you, no, we're going to get everything in black and white, right? And we're going to get everything set up where everybody have the percentages that goes into their account automatically once this project is sold. But if we can allow somebody else to come, and especially come from another state, right, and use us to make millions of dollars, right, then we can do that shit on our own and make millions of dollars. So, you know, like I said, it just takes a man, not a gang member, a real man. Because before you become a gang member, you have to be a man. So to come and say, let's throw the bullshit in the trash, fuck all about that. We got kids, we got nieces and nephews, families, we got mothers, and we only have these people once.
Right.
You know, we have to get straight and be able to take care of our tribe.
Right.
You know what I mean? We know we the forefront. We know we motherfuckers that's gonna push and get to the bag, but the bag is just not for us. The bag is for the tribe too. So what I'm saying is like, you make investments. Like if I get rich, I'm always gonna think like this. Well, I'm gonna buy my mom some real estate. I'm gonna buy my sister a beauty shop. I'm gonna you know, get the little homegirls, and that's level-headed. You know, it might not be all of them, you know what I'm saying, but it's a few that got something going on. Hey, let me talk to y'all. You know, I got money now, right? Instead of me just giving it to y'all, I want to build something that bring in multiple incomes. So each and every one of y'all can pay y'all rent, take care of y'all children, and go be able to take vacations and live and enjoy life. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it's really for. This shit is really for that. The push is really for building your economy and your foundation, your rooted foundation of your tribe, right? After you do that, then you can step outside and pull other tribes that's doing worse than what your tribe was doing, or probably was in the same stage of your tribe. And you can uplift them also by grabbing somebody rooted with an intellectual mind over there on that side of the field and say, hey, this is what I can do. See, knowledge is key, and a lot of people don't know that. Like I was stuck in the stage of, I gotta go on a block and I gotta sell this shit. I gotta do this and get this money. But when I went to the feds, it opened my eyes up, you know, to knowing about corporate credit, you know, corporate loans, and seeing Donald Trump have life. You know what I mean? Where he's borrowing this money systems to buy the Trump Towers, and after he paid them back, he still owned this building. And they offering him 2 times more than what he borrowed the first time. Right. He not spending none of his money, you know, tax deductibles, you know, tax write-offs, all of that type of shit right there, even nonprofits, you know, or whatever the case may be. You learn this shit as you get older, but that's what's wrong with our community now. We're supposed to be teaching these kids that, you know, when they 16, 17, and 18 years old, they could be ahead of the game because the suburbs in these white communities teach their kids that, and they teach them about personal credit and corporate credit at a young age. And when they become 21, they already ahead of the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my dreams of once I start gaining large income into this music, is to lay down foundations that hands these communities of youth knowledge so they can be ahead of the game.
Right.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy G2B's over here at Gconnet. And today we talking about this Weed Woods new strain, that Dismo edition. This that shit, man. You need to get you one of these, man. It's all gas, no brakes, man. Holla at your boy over here at Gconnet. Shout out Weed Woods. Dismo. This that shit.
Speaking on that, can you name 3 people who's been the most influential in your life?
The most influential people in my life right now is first I'm going to start God, because, you know, if people don't believe that he can talk to you and you can hear his voice, then, you know, they got some problems, you know what I mean? But that's the most influential person that's in my life, because he gave me another chance and basically aware of me, like, you know, you don't have too many chances to do what you was placed on this earth for, you know? So this is your time to push. My family, you know what I mean? And everybody that's mentally and intellectual can understand where I come from as a source of energy. You know, in the industry, I look up to people like Nas, Snoop, you know, Cypress Hill. I've been knowing them, you know, since I was young, and it's just not about making music, man. It's about building a foundation, you know, on a broader scale. Once you be able to become successful in bringing in major income with your talent, you know. So them are the people that I look up to, you know. And like I said, Nip was, to me, that's my brother, man. You know, before I got indicted, you know, I met Nip. You know, I went up, I talked to Big U, and we was at Crenshaw High, and I met Nip, and it was crazy because it was like me and him had so much, you know, we had so much to lay out and do, but I ended up getting indicted, you know, so that was a situation robbed from me because I ended up getting took away from the picture. But sitting back in jail and seeing that dude actually, like, use actions to lay out what he had in his soul, what in his DNA, like what he believed in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He put his life on the line to actually wake up a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that's real deep to me. You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm in the field still. Like, I'm out here. You know what I mean? I'm not living in the suburbs. I'm not, you know, scared to pull up to a nigga set and vibe a nigga. You know, I'm the same definition of Nip was pushing, but on the Damu side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he gained success, but he didn't turn his back on his tribe.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? And he put his heart out there, not only for his homies, but for them kids that's in his community, you know, and he was headed to a hell of a place in life, you know what I mean? And even still, since he's gone, he's an impact, you know what I mean? As a Black African man, you know what I mean? And that's something that's we all need to look at. We supposed to protect them type of people, man. Them are the people them are the kings, you know what I'm saying, of our era. Them are the ones that's bringing the king out of the other men that's kings, that's not really tuned in with themselves.
Right.
You know?
And
And
you see it after the fact, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like you said, a lot of people seen it prior, and that's why it ended like it ended. You know what I mean? But they take those type of people away. They don't last long, you know, and it's unfortunate. Because, like you said, we should be protecting them.
Tupac's, Nipsey's, Biggie's, but you know, we understand how things happen in these streets as well, because all those things could have been avoided. It wasn't it wasn't the industry fault, I'll say. It was those individuals
around them people
that led them into those situations, because we all know with Pac's situation, had the right person did the right thing, that shit would have never happened. There's no way he should have been able to run and lead the pack of hyenas that surround him. He's not cut from that cloth. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't from there, but he was around those dudes, and for somebody to say something to him and them yes men around him allowed him to run off there and put himself in harm's way, because evidently that dude wasn't no punk.
Yeah. Once you get to a certain level in your career anyway, you should.
And on that topic right there, like, I respect Suge. You know, I respect him. And what I'm finna say is not a form of disrespect to him. It's just shit that's raw as it can get. You know, to build a conglomerate, to build a record label like that, to reach the highest peak, there's no way in the world that Death Row or anything that was a part of Death Row was supposed to like how the way it did, right? It's a thing called chess, and chess is, you know, a livelihood where it's a day-to-day, you know, tactic of how you got to move pieces on the board. But with that being said, is that like situations that happen by a person feeling like they untouchable. Nobody is untouchable, right? Everybody in this world can get touched in some type of way, whether a motherfucker wasn't you, whether, you know, any type of, you can get touched. It's a way that you can get touched. But that's why I always tell people like this: you can have an attitude that you don't give a fuck, right? And the results you're going to get out of life, it's going to be I don't give a fuck results. Because it's going to be somebody that meets your I don't give a fuck 10 times more than you don't give a fuck. Right? When you're supposed to give a fuck about everything that you have attached to you and that you say that you care for. Whether you my artist, whether you a producer, whether you a singer, whether whatever you is, right? A real motherfucker. Yeah. You know, a real motherfucker that sincerely love you and care for you, it's not just going to let anything or be an anything ass motherfucker around you. You know, I'm not going to let you do no stupid shit if I care for you.
Right.
If I can see something 10 steps ahead of the game of the results of what's going to happen out of this, right? Because it's a big possibility when you're doing shit like that, that it's going to be a response.
Right.
So if you don't want them results, you're not going to place yourself in them situations to get those type of results.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's why people don't understand politics. Politics is not in place for you just to say, fuck it, let's go to war. Politics is all the way around rule for war and peace. And the individual that know about politics is always going to utilize that balance scale for both.
Right.
Right? You're not just going to be all beef and no peace. It's not going to work like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to have peace in every equation at some point in time. You know?
Right.
I agree.
That's why they say pick another day at your battles. Why? Because you got to go and recoup, motherfucker. You got to go do some push-ups, or you got to, you know, do some squats, or you got to go get some motherfucking artillery for your pistol. You feel me?
Right.
If you study going click, 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 and there ain't no bullets, and you still saying, fuck y'all, let's go to war, that's not war. Kamikaze.
Right.
You see me? And I feel like Death Row was led in a kamikaze state of mind. You know, and the reason I say that is because the relationships and the shit that I'm seeing with the producers and the singers and how people getting treated, you know, and certain people that's a part of these classic records, it's not getting their homage, you know, and they due diligence. You know what I'm saying? And it's been hundreds of millions made from off of this material and this product. You know, and it's public. It's not something that's not public. This is public. I'm just speaking on it because my shit is Grynderz ENT. And whoever I fuck with all the way. I want to see them rich. I want to see their family rich. I want to put my all into helping them successful. But whoever I fuck with gotta have the drive, right? Mm-hmm. In them they self to want to do it. Right. You know, I don't have the batteries over here at my record label to put in your back to do that shit. Right. But I got the resources that I can connect you with for you to become the best you can ever become. And somebody else is going to assign you that can help you do something better. I'm not going to hold you and stop you from your blessings. Right. Mm-hmm. We still family. So build your own empire, and I can come over there and spend the night and wake up and eat some breakfast and still chop it up with you. You know what I mean? And we can share opinions with each other, you know, knowledge with each other, and still be friends without no hard feeling. And that's what people got it fucked up. Motherfuckers want to be vampires in this game and use you and pose as your friend or your brother just for monetary reasons. And that shit is not genuine.
No. All right. So we're going to change it up a bit. We're going to get to know a little bit more about you as a person and what you like. So can you tell us what's your favorite TV series and why?
My favorite TV series, I got to go with Good Times.
Good Times? Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go with Good Times, man. It's just throwback, it's classic, it's original. It reminds you of the households that we had growing up back in the days with the mama, the daddy, the cousins, the whole family vibe. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the reason why I picked that is because that's the same type of shit like I grew up. You know what I mean? We have the funny, you know, uncle. You have the uncle that, you know, that's aggressive. You have the mama that's just, you know, so much personality and style and hospitality. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what we missing nowadays. Mm-hmm. I'm saying we missing them type of family orientated foundations. Mm-hmm. You know, now it's just like mothers and fathers is being home girls and homeboys to their kids instead of parents. You know, it's not being as much raw as it used to be back then and direct. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's one of my favorite TV series.
All right. So you don't watch no up-to-date TV series?
Yes, I do. You know, I gotta go with Snowfall if it's up to date, man. Come on, man. You know I gotta go with Snowfall. I fuck with Power. I fuck with Power now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against 50 in there, but you know, come on. When you talking about that fucking real original story of, you know, the areas that I came from, because I represent the bottoms, but I'm a LA South Central rooted baby. Period. All the way on the boot. So all of the OGs, the businessmen, and you know, all the Freeway Rick peoples and Harry O and all of them, they, you know, my father and uncles and them all was tight knitted in that movement in that generation. So I actually seen a lot of that shit with my own eyes growing up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That whole dialogue. Right. It's like reality. It's like seeing my whole life jumping off the porch as a kid and everything you can see through, you know, the two eyeballs that you got. Right. Now I'm seeing this shit on TV. Right. You know, so.
What's your favorite movie of all times and why?
My favorite movie of all time, man, you gonna laugh at me, man, but it's a motherfucking classic, though. Harlem Nights. Oh, no. You shot me with my pinky toe.
You don't stop shooting that little ass gun.
You feel me?
No, that's a classic.
I'm gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? He was bad as a motherfucker driving that car. He wanted to kill quick, man.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but Della Reese, Della Reese, you know what I'm saying? Richard Pryor, man, you can't go wrong. Eddie Murphy, man, look at the cast on that motherfucker, man.
That was a classic. That is a classic.
Yeah.
Speaking of classics, what's your favorite album of all time and why?
My favorite album of all time got to be Chronic, man. It has to be the Chronic. And the reason I say that is because if anybody was at the stage that I was at in my life, being like 12, 13 years old, whatever, around that, that time frame, 9, 10, 11, around that time Chronic came out, that Endo was a motherfucker. Like everybody and their mama loved that motherfucking Endo. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't no better weed than Endo. You had your chocolate tie, you had your Colombian gold, you had all of that shit back then. But when the Chronic came out, it wasn't just a record. It wasn't just an album. It was every bit of everything that everybody was a part of in life. And if a motherfucker didn't smoke no Chronic, then they crazy out of this motherfucking world, because you will have everybody in every race that'll tell you that they hit some Chronic. And that was way before all of this new shit that got all of these old gumball machine names and all that other shit. You was going to go get you a dime bag of motherfucking Chronic for the spot, not no dispensary. Right. You know what I'm saying? And everybody and their mama adapted the weed to the whole album. You couldn't smoke the weed without listening to the Chronic. You couldn't listen to the Chronic without smoking the weed.
Right. Fact.
Right. They used to play that shit, and I used to go smoke roaches out my mama ashtray and go in the bathroom and hit my little shit, you know what I'm saying? And come back out, and it was just like I was in a whole nother space. Like I wasn't even on the planet. Like that's where it took you to when you listen to that album and you actually get high. It was some 3D shit.
It's an experience for sure.
It was a whole experience.
Right. If you drink, what's your favorite drink and why?
Well, I love rosé wet. That's my favorite. Laid back drink. I'm the type of person, I'm not no hard, strong alcohol drinker. I would take a shot of Remy and then I sip on a bottle of rosé Moet. That's just how I've been all the time, because the lifestyle that I don't live, I don't never want to be drunk or out of it. And I done seen so many people get abused and fucked over like that. So I don't never get to that point. But I do have a drink that I'm gonna make a concoction. I'm gonna put it out there. I already got it. I'm gonna put it out there. I got a concoction that I mixed together, and I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna have motherfuckers drinking this concoction that I'm gonna put together.
Okay.
And I'm gonna revisit y'all when I'm ready to do it. I'm gonna promise y'all that I'm gonna give the recipe out on y'all platform.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
We're on the lookout for that.
And what's your favorite animal and why?
My favorite animal? Gotta go with the red-nosed pet bull. Come on, man. You gotta go with the red-nosed pet.
Okay.
No complaints. Hey, I love pet bulls. Yeah. Some people don't like animals, so some people don't like animals, but I love them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let's talk. Yo, what it do? It's your boy G2B's over here at Gconnet. And today we talking about this Weed Woods new strain, that Dismo edition. This that shit, man. You need to get you one of these, man. It's all gas, no brakes, man. Holla at your boy over here at Gconnet. Shout out Weed Woods. Dismo. This that shit. Let's talk top 5. Your top 5 singers in any order.
Singers?
Singers.
Male or female?
Male or female?
I gotta say, first and foremost, I got Anita Baker, right? Mary J. Blige, Smokey Robinson, Usher. And you can't never ever leave out Michael Jackson, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I can't never leave out Michael Jackson, you know.
That's a good solid five. That's a solid top five, though. That is, especially in your generation. That's a solid top five.
Right. And can you name your top 5 comedians in any order?
My top 5 comedians is Sinbad, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Let me see now. Eddie Griffin. And I can't leave out Bernie motherfucking Mac, man.
Bernie Mac, yep.
Bernie Mac.
Let's talk rappers. Name your top 5 rappers, dead or alive, in any order.
Top 5 rappers is number 1, Nas. Tupac, Snoop, Corrupt, a hell of a motherfucking lyricist, man. You know, if motherfuckers sleeping on Corrupt, they don't even know what a lyricist is. You know what I mean? And the reason I say that is because if you just listen to the Dog Pound shit and you see what the shit that nigga was saying, and he still got it now, you know, that's bro. You know, that's bro. I fuck with it, you know, like a motherfucker. Lil Wayne, he's a hell of a motherfucker. So that'll be my top 5 right there.
Are you? That's a great top 5. Are you familiar with the battle rap scene?
A little bit. I used to watch a little bit of it.
So you don't have a top 5 in it. You don't watch it enough to have a top 5 in that.
Nah, I really don't. The battle rap thing, I leave that to the battle rappers. You know what I'm saying? That's really not my style. Because
I think that's a good idea. It's pretty treacherous.
All right, we got a section. Wait, one more thing. What's your favorite football team?
My favorite football team, Los Angeles Raiders, man. That's what I grew up off of, man. Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson. You know what I mean?
So do you rock?
That's what I grew up on.
Do you rock with them today? Do you still rock with them today?
Yeah, I still rock with them today.
So I gotta taunt you now, bro. Cause this bang bang Niner gang. Feel me? So I gotta taunt you now.
Listen. So back then, Jerry Rice. Hey, listen, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Stevie, all them niggas was like that. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying what I grew up off of, you know, representing where we come from. You know how that is. But the 49ers, I don't got nothing against the 49ers, but I got some against Dallas, though.
Okay, I was just saying, I was taking a shot at you because you said you made it a point to say the Los Angeles Raiders. There ain't been a Los Angeles Raider since you was behind the convention, bro. You know what I'm saying? They left when I was a kid, so I know.
Yeah.
They were there when you was a kid. You know?
Yeah.
Because I killed my homies that's from Oakland that was Raider fans. Now that they're no longer in Oakland, I tell them all the time, kick the niggas out the band.
Yeah, you definitely, I'm just holding on, man. That's all. I'm just holding on, man. You know, I'm just holding on.
Man, I hope y'all have a great year this year, bro. Likewise, man. Y'all struggling. We didn't do it neither. So
Exactly, yeah.
All good. All right, we got a section called Flick One. On this section, was where you pick who you would rather do business with or who you like over the other. for whatever reason, whether you would do a feature, business, or whatever?
We go start off with Nas or Jay-Z.
That's a hard one right there, right?
It's flick one. And you
Well,
can tell why.
I'm gonna say this. If it's directly with Jay, nah, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather try Nas. You know, I'd rather try something different. You know, a lot of people go with Rock Nation. A lot of people fucking with Rock Nation. I have nothing against Rock Nation and Jay-Z and his team. But me personally, I will go a different route with a person like Nas because I think like outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've been seeing he's been doing a lot of business shit and he seems to be a good, you know, intelligent businessman. And I want to root with somebody that's still hungry. You know what I mean? That's still hungry. And it seems like even though he's eating, it looks like he still got that hungriness in him.
Right. Okay. Master P or Birdman?
I would definitely fuck with Master P. I would definitely fuck with Master P. I don't know what happened with Birdman and Lil Wayne, but little sticky shit like, you know, that's in the air. I like to stay away from that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like I said, nothing against Birdman and none of that.
Right.
But I ain't heard nothing about P. Right. You know, or whatever the case may be. But I'll fuck with No Limit.
Makes sense. Soldier Slim or Big L?
You might not know who that is.
Soldiers. Man, come on. You gotta go with the Soldier, man. You gotta fuck with the Soldier.
Lady of Rage or Yo-Yo?
I love me some Yo-Yo, man. I love me some Yo-Yo. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, Yo-Yo can get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo-Yo, she can get it. I fuck with Yo-Yo. You know what I'm saying?
Eyes, huh?
She push hard. No, she put hard. What turns me on is when I see a motherfuckers out there still going to go get they bag, like stand in the mix without sitting on their ass. You know what I mean? Not saying Lady Your Rage ain't doing that, but I'm saying whenever I see Yo-Yo doing her thing, she's pushing to get a bag and keep something rooted up under her foundation for her kids, her mama, whatever in her family or household. And the lady done did so much networking. I'm pretty sure her Rolodex and her networking connections is out of this world.
Right. Biggie or Tupac?
This is all I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna just throw this up right there, man. Come on, man. That's self-explanatory.
All right, Gucci Man or Young Jeezy?
Gucci.
Okay.
Dr. Dre or Puff Daddy?
Come on, listen to me. I need the motherfucking fingertips again on them beats. You know, I gotta go with, listen. Can't nobody pluck them motherfucking keys like Dre, man.
Young Dolph Mo 3.
That nigga Mo 3 was something different. He was a whole different type of animal. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. Young Dolph was a hell of a motherfucker. Rest in peace.
Both of them.
But Mo 3, he was something special, man.
Yeah, I agree.
He was something special for real.
So let's go with Little Kim or Foxy Brown.
Yeah, come on, that's what I'll listen. She dropped that thing on me. That's Lil Kim shit. Come on, what? Huh? She gotta drop. Is it really real, huh? Is it? Come on. Shit, you can't go wrong with that. You know what I mean? She wanna, and this was so crazy about it. Like, I tell female artists that I'm around, I say, you split your own style, right? What you always do is pay homage to the introduction of the celebrities and the superstars and the icons of female artists that already paved the way. I said, she was heartless about what a motherfucker gave a fuck about her coming out. You know, let motherfuckers know, like, I'm to be respected. You know what I mean? And this one thing about me, I don't judge. If a woman choose to do whatever she want to do, right, that's her business. As long as she carry herself with respect, she deserve respect. You know what I mean? All that, she a slut or all, I don't knock that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't dig that type of shit right there, because it's like, give a person their respect as a human. You have a right to do what you want to do. None of us was birthed out with a slave contract. So how could you judge somebody for what they do and you do what you do and you don't want nobody to judge you?
Right.
You know, us men, we can have 10 women, but a woman can slide and do something on the creep and then she's a hoe. That's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's not right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, enjoy life. And when you come around the people that you want to fuck with, have a great moment and respect each other. You know what I'm saying? Respect each other for who they are. You know what I mean? Don't be this in the closet and then on the streets, you this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just be who you are, and whoever accept you and respect you, that's who you fuck with. If you got to portray to be somebody else, to have something or to be a part of something, that's the wrong route to take, I think.
Yeah, genuine. Just stay genuine.
Rough Riders or Cash Money?
Cash Money.
Nelly or Ludacris?
Luda.
Kodak Black or the Baby?
I gotta fuck with Kodak. I like that nigga, man. I like that nigga. I ain't gonna even lie to you, man. That nigga right there, yeah, he's a real street nigga that I can adapt to, man. I fuck with Kodak, man.
Cool. Ice Cube or Snoop Dogg?
Ooh, that's a hard one right there, man.
Hey,
but guess what?
Throw up the West.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you like this here. I'm gonna tell you like this here. They call it the new death row, right? If the new death row wanna fuck with Jay Killa, I can bet you this. The world gonna see death row again.
Like that.
Okay. I like that. I like that. 8 Ball or MJG? 8 Ball and MJG or UGK?
UGK.
All right. Future or French Montana?
I gotta fuck with my nigga. Future. I gotta fuck with my nigga.
Here go another tooth puller for you. Dog Pound or West Side Connection?
Mac my nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Mac my nigga, right? I corrupt my nigga. You feel me? Like, man, I would have to say.
This seemed like it hurt, so we gonna let you go.
We're gonna give you a fig moment. Both of them.
Both of them.
Oh, right.
Both of them. I can't pick on that one.
Mystical or Juvenile?
Come on, Project Baby, man, Juvie, man.
Nicki Minaj or Cardi B?
Cardi B, whoa. She know what it is. She know what it is.
Right. Kanye West or Pharrell?
That nigga Kanye is, I think he like Elon Musk. That nigga, his brain is just out of the world. So I definitely know how to create some out of the world shit with Kanye. I'll fuck with Kanye, man.
Queen Latifah or MC Lyte?
Oh my God, you just now, oh shit, you starting something now. Listen to me. Queen Latifah, hey, listen, I'll put a ring on Queen Latifah now. Listen to me. I love me some Queen Latifah, especially when she played and set it off. She was a cold gangster. But I love the Queen rapping. That UNITY, all that shit. Man, I had a crush on her since I was little. Like, she represented the black Nubian queen in the purest fashion, man, you ever can explain, man. She repped it.
Shout out to Queen Latifah. Love to get a conversation with you. Ghetto Boys or the Locks?
Scarface, man. Come on, man.
We ain't got too many more. We ain't got too many more for you, brother. We ain't gonna hold you up too much longer.
Timberland.
I'm good.
Oh, Timberland or Swiss Beats?
Swiss Beats. Swiss Beats. Come fuck with your boy, Swiss.
Ace of Spades or Bel Air?
I ain't even never tasted neither one of them motherfuckers. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay, tequila or cognac?
Gotta be Remy. It gotta be me.
I ain't mad at you. Let me see. Trick Daddy or Rick Ross?
Ricky Rose. Maybach Music. Holla at me. We can make some things happen.
Oh shit. We got E40 or Too Short?
40 water.
Damn, I
smell me.
Right. What's you doing? Okay, Outkast or the Ghetto Boys?
Outkast. I'll do something different with Outkast. I want to think outside the box.
Drake or Lil Wayne?
They come together. It's a deal. Shit. I fuck with Drake, but Lil Wayne, that's the homie. So, you know what I mean? I'm a rock with the homie all the way. You know what I mean? Drake is amazing, man. He's an icon. But I gotta fuck with Weezy F Baby though.
Trina or the Brat?
The baddest bitch. Come on, man. She had all popping when he was doing her thing. She still got it popping though. I've been watching her.
Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Damn, boy. Poke like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I gotta fuck with Muhammad Ali, man.
Lennox Lewis or Evander Holyfield?
Holyfield. Let me react.
I'm gonna let her live, man. Listen, I gotta fuck with Evander, man, because guess what?
Hey, they gonna butcher her if they throw that out there. You can't even pronounce the damn name you done tagged me, folks. Oh, damn. I got that one, babe. I got that.
You got it?
Lennox Lewis or Evander Holyfield?
I got with Holyfield. You know, he showed me he got some pride, nigga, in him. He ain't just taking no loss. He gonna pull something out the box on the nigga.
Yeah.
I gotta fuck with him, man.
DJ Battlecat or DJ Quick?
Quick is the name. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Come on.
DJ Mustard or Hit Boy?
I gotta fuck with Mustard, man. Whoop Nation, man. They know what it is.
Rick Rock or Droopy?
Rick Rock.
Do you know who Droopy is?
I heard the Droopy shit. Okay. Rick Rock be knocking though.
Okay. All right.
Both of them got some knocking shit, but I like Rick Rock.
What is your last two questions? What is the process of you dropping a single?
The process of me dropping a single is going in that bitch. I'm in the studio damn near like 5 days out of the week. And out of them songs that I'm dropping, you know, you always gonna get that special one out of the songs that you dropping. So I was out of every 2 weeks of recording probably like 10 to 15 songs. I just let the people in the room, you know, I always invite a lot of I gang of females, you know what I mean? Like, I vibe with them because it's like, to me, they energy sparks up when they hear something good. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no shame in their game to get up and say, hey, or whatever, you know. And I just peep the scene and I say, okay, this one is making, you know, the people that surround me, the 15 people that surround me react, you know, and then I stop and, you know, stop everything and I start asking them their opinions like, hey, so what you think? Ooh. And it idle down to probably about 3 songs. And I play them 3 songs and say, all right. And it drops down to 2 songs and they say, all right, this one. And I say, okay, well, let's start the mixing and mastering. Let me call my video guy. Let's shoot a video to this motherfucker. And then we're going to drop this motherfucker because the majority is feeling this motherfucker song. So that's how I go about my dropping singles process.
Right. And you survived our this or that or
questionnaire. This or that. Oh, man, what's he? What is this and that?
Was she?
What the hell
Was she nervous? Is you nervous? Is you nervous over there?
Hey, we want to thank you for surviving the questionnaire, the Gconnet questionnaire flick one. And you did great, bro. You know, you only had to tap out one time and say both of them. So, you know, that ain't easy for everybody because rappers and everybody know each other and they don't want to offend nobody. None of this was meant to offend nobody. It was just a flick, one or the other, you know. So that's all that was. We appreciate it. On that note, we appreciate you for tapping in with Gconnet, bro, giving us the conversation, time out your life, going through, setting it up, and you click on my side. I'm going to stay genuine because this is a network where genuine conversations happen. We're not here to interview you and talk about your bullshit. We're here to talk about anything positive going on with you, and that's what we putting out there for this platform. Yeah, we from where we from, but neither one of us sat here and talked about our hood to that degree. You said a few things, but I don't normally do that with nobody, Crips, Bloods, or whoever, because today I don't want my son to gangbang.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to promote that today. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite and be on here promoting gang activity when I know I don't want my son or daughter to participate. Now, what the other people do in their life and going through, that's them. That's your flavor. Do whatever you do. Okay. What it do, folks? It's your boy, G2Bs. I like to thank you for watching. And continue to watch. And be like Alpha Beta. Tell a friend. You know, because this is real conversations. Different generations having real conversations, man. Pass the word on. Thank you for watching. Continue to watch.
It ain't nothing but a G thing. It ain't nothing but a G thing. Different conversations with different generations. You gotta keep it G, man. It ain't nothing but a G thing. It ain't nothing but a G thing. Different conversations with different generations. You gotta keep it G, man.